You say, we say, the best deserve a statue. The Meteoriks Awards 2025, celebrating the past Demoscene year.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening to all of you. Good evening to Dojoe and the Meteoriks team.
Thank you, Shana.
And most importantly, Dojoe, congratulations for your baby being now 10 years old. This is almost a special Meteoriks year because his baby, the Meteoriks, are now happening for the 11th time.
This is the 11th time.
So it's 10 years old now, is it?
It is. I shouldn't say we because I started 1 year later. So this is my 10th Meteoriks, in fact.
Stepdad, Meteoriks stepdad.
The Meteoriks, yeah, kind of. The Meteoriks started in 2015. That's the first year that we handed out the Meteoriks Awards to prods. So we awarded prods that were made in 2014. And so since then, we've nominated, I should have counted how many prods we've kind of awarded and nominated, but uncounted. It's like, it's got to go into the
a few hundred.
several hundreds, I would say.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we award.
It's like 50 times.
We
10.
nominate, yeah, exactly.
It's
About
like
that.
500.
So yeah, not too shabby. Yeah, it's been a good run.
So yeah, and we have been looking at another wild year for the Demoscene.
Oh yeah.
We will tell you a little bit more about statistics, obviously, in between. But as dIRTIE always says, please stop talking so much. No one is interested in that, Shana and Dojoe.
So I'm going to give you the rough rundown. We're
Don't
doing
spoil people. Okay.
We're going to do something like the Oscars of the Demoscene. Every year we award prods in a set of categories. Most years, or most of the past years, we've had 11 categories. This year, again, we will have 11 categories. In each category, we nominate up to 5 productions. And tonight is the night when we will reveal our nominations for this year.
Later at Revision Demoparty, I'm sure most of you have heard about this one. There's obviously then the huge gala where the laureates are being announced. So, and as well as their runner-ups, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, perfect. And there you share the stage with the wonderful Alchema.
With the wonderful and magnificent Alchema.
Exactly.
And I guess that's about enough talk for now. Let's start with the first category of tonight, which traditionally is the new talent.
Yeah, one of my favorite categories personally, because it's always exciting, obviously, to see new folks. So
Yes. Let's dive right in.
Let's find out. And I need to do this every time.
And we'll get out of your way.
The nominees for new talent. CSI for behind naming things. Ayapa Photo for Once Upon a Time in a Data Center. John and Doc for Matter. Cedric Guillemet for Equiratis rodentus. And Steffest for Ordo.
Those were some amazing newcomer productions. And just looking at this now, I realized, like, this wasn't, oh yeah, pretty good for a firstie, but no, those weren't just splashes. Those were all some really big splashes. Like, all of those were really good and solid productions. So everyone who got nominated, guys, gals, awesome. You are the future of the demo scene, and with you, the demo scene's got a bright future ahead of them.
Certainly for that. One of whom I would like to shout out is Steffest. Steffest actually, I believe, released for the first time with us at Revision in 2023, but certainly came into their own this year. I particularly loved Ordo. Steffest, if you hear this, as someone who's trying to get into pixel graphics more, this is also a very nice learning for me, just to watch how it gets together, because they also use their different steps and stages and had it developing, the pixel graphics developing. It's really beautiful to watch. So in case you haven't so far, please do this. You will obviously see it afterwards in Big Demo Show.
Yeah, and I love how he's already a very talented pixel artist, and now he just starts kind of teaching himself to program a demo and make tunes to go along with his graphics. And he wrote a tracker. He wrote his own tracker.
He wrote his own tracker.
Like, why the hell not?
Because as a graphics artist.
Because that's as you do, right?
Yeah. Right.
So, do you remember how many newcomers we actually had?
Yes, I noted it down, Dojo. And funny enough, like most years, it's around about 300. We always land in the 300 mark of newcomers that we get the pleasure to review, or the jurors do. So yeah, it doesn't look like dying to me. So I'm afraid the scene is far from dead still.
So does that mean we're going to have to do this again and again and again?
To the next 10 years, Dojo. Deal.
We'll do this.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Then, what do we want to go to the next?
Yes.
Next category.
And that is outstanding concept. A category that is very dear to my heart, because that is usually the category where we pick out the stuff that's weird, that's special, that kind of people didn't have on their radar. And I love how our jury every year kind of goes and picks out those little raisins out of the big Demoscene cake.
Yeah.
So let us see who had the outstandingest concepts this year.
The nominees for Outstanding Concepts. A Statement on the Platform Wars by Moonbase All-Stars. Print by Tea Drinker. SummonCat.glsl by CSI and Ryder. Demonique by Ivory Labs and Offenhide. and Killer Pillar by Petcore.
Outstanding guest of the conceptist.
I like to make up words. Sue me.
Even before I say anything else, hey, Moonbase All-Stars, as someone who does a lot of outreach talks every year and presents the demo scene to a lot of different groups and people, especially a statement on the platform wars is dear to my heart because number one, we've been to a lot of conferences with tinkerers that like to try out new stuff, that like to do some weirdness, exactly as dojoe said before, but that also obviously give a message that everyone is welcome here, and also gives a very clear message, that everyone can be part of our scene. Obviously, I don't even want to make this. I don't even want to make this a political statement, but just I'm also seeing our workshop attendees here. We have become more colorful, and this is just freaking wonderful to see. And this wouldn't be possible also with the weed whackers, like the ones that we also see represented with Moonbase. No, yeah. Nervous. Cool.
Yeah, and also big shout outs to Tree Drinker. I had the pleasure of seeing print at Inasia last year, and I saw it and I immediately was like, that's Meteoriks material, right there.
So dojoe just went to the jurors and said,
okay, this one's locked in, do whatever you want for the rest. I did not.
Right.
So, what's next?
What's next? We have best edible graphics.
That's how I like to refer to it, yes.
Executable graphics back in its home in Switzerland. Actually, this was the place where the first 4K graphics compo was held.
Ever? Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Pro came up with it.
Oh,
Someone
nice.
Correct me now online, please.
Big ups to Pro.
Sure. Yeah, so actually Bünzli was the home of the 4K graphics accent. So
nice.
It's always nice to bring it back home. Let's see who made the prettiest pictures just with lines of code, as we always say.
And very few of those.
And very few of those.
The nominees for Best Executable Graphics. Chromatic North by Epoch. Bayado no Megami by Epoch. Dandy by Farbrausch. Verlied by Spectrum. And Astro Dream by Sylvia.
Dojoe, I'm so excited.
Looks like the nominations are coming back here again too.
Yes, well, kinda. Because, so last year, Sylvia was obviously one of the new talent nominees. And at the same time, she released something with us. Of course, she's in Hong Kong, so she's way too far away, right, to get over here.
Except when she isn't.
and it's the picture, Astro Dream, that was released last year at Mountainbytes. And this year, Sylvia, congratulations, she's here with us all the way from Hong Kong. So yeah, personally, I obviously can't be, no Orga is 100% impartial, but that's why I'm not a juror.
I mean, that journey definitely paid off already, I guess.
5,000 kilometers for a Meteorik nomination? I love the Meteoriks.
I'd do it.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't.
Okay. So, Jojo, how do our jurors even go about finding all those nominations and the prods, and how do they go about this? Do you perhaps want to tell our new applicants for the jury a little bit what awaits them?
Well, usually this is the point where I make a dumb joke about rolling dice, but in reality, we have reality, not you. In reality, we actually watch everything. We did a little quiz earlier when you weren't watching on the stream, when we were just doing a little sound check. We asked the hall how many prods, like real-time executable running prods or animations like that stuff were released, they thought were released in 2024. And we had guesses like 800 or 1,337 very specifically. And the one who got closest was actually the person who guessed lead, and they were off by a factor of 2. We had 2,600 productions, 2,610 productions released in 2024. How's that for a productive scene?
And also perhaps someone who could use a shout out is Gasman, who is always getting us wonderful queries and lists of all the productions to watch. So
and
to
is
make that
probably taking live notes about nominations right now as he sits here. So thank you very much for that.
Big round of applause for everyone editing Demoscene just in real time. Haha.
Well, and so I'm just gonna let that slide.
Yeah.
So, and we had the job of looking at or considering all those 2,600 prods. We do make an effort to consider every prod. So we actually, I wouldn't say watched through all of them, but we looked at all of them. We did a first pre-screening round with all of the jurors who screened the prods and kind of gave them a, well, okay, this looks interesting. We're gonna let this be viewed by all of the juries, or, well, not. And that filtered the prods down to about 1/3. So, I mean, and consider, that's still 700-800 prods-ish. Yeah. And so then all of the juries went to town and started looking at all of those prods and checking them out and figuring out whether they were candidates for our for their specific category for nomination. And following that, we had usually a few rounds of voting and then a few rounds of discussion. We make a point to never just let a spreadsheet decide, but it always ends up being people talking to each other and finding a consensus. And that's how our hero jurors spent all of January, and I cannot thank them enough for the tremendous amount of work they put into what we're presenting to you tonight. Thank you very much.
But also, there is one more group of people to thank, the community itself, because we also have the recommendation feature. And this year, this was quite impressive.
We had 165 prods that got recommended to the juries via Demoscene or Puet. And that's just the number of prods. That means more than that votes or recommendation clicks were given. So we really got a lot of input from all of you. And that also helps us very much get a good overview and make sure that nothing is forgotten or overlooked. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, because this helps finding the gems, right? And
Absolutely.
not just the first places from all the parties. Okay, then, but enough talking. dIRTIE is probably already looking at us again. Best old school production.
Yes.
We are going back a few decades.
And looking at what people can squeeze out of those beautiful retro computers these days. And spoiler alert, it's awesome.
The nominees for Best Old School Production: 1337 by Fairlights, Three Sira by Arise, Sepelia by Elysium, Nightfall by Artline Designs, and What is the Matrix 2 by Sensor Design.
What a lineup. And usually we have a bit more of a mix between old school platforms in here. But holy shit, C64 really took the cake this year.
Specky, I'm rooting for you next year.
Step up your game, guys. I know you can do it. But no, there was just a deluge of well-made and really interesting C64 productions there. And if you look at those prods, you can tell that those people have not just developed interesting and awesome effects and stuff that makes you wonder why, how is this a C64? They also developed the knack for design, for storytelling, like this. It's all there.
Yeah, I think especially 1337 is a very good example of
really
good
telling a story there. And I really like Sepelia, just for the style, for the kind of different ways of telling things, and the magnificent soundtrack, and I just like the theme that's going through there.
I especially love that last scene with all the synthetic farm sounds. We do have a certain love here for cows in general, and the moo is just perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, very. You can tell these people had fun, right?
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah, and now we'll step a little bit further into, in the other direction.
Yes, now we get to basically the devices
new.
that are exactly my age range.
Yeah, like the computers that I wished I had when I was young. So we're now going to look at the best Midschool productions, which is Amigas and Ataris, fantasy consoles.
What do we scream? Good.
I thought we didn't want to do this.
I didn't get the memo. Okay, let's
Can
see.
you do? Amiga.
The nominees for Best Midschool Production: The Mind by Howjob and Sweet 16, Cockbusters by Ghost Town, series of raster effects by SMFX. Fathom by Desire. And Inside the Machine by Desire.
Talking about fun. Did Ghost Town have some fun this year?
What? Yeah, you can tell. Like, I mean, it's kind of the spiritual successor to Sipelia, also celebrating farm culture and everything. And holy shit, yeah, those graphics. I love it.
Yeah, and it's just bouncing. You can't stop.
It is just
when
like,
you watch it, it's like, yeah chickens.
We can be sure they had a lot of fun doing this. And also, like, 2 times Desire.
Yep.
Not bad. Congratulations, folks. It's easy to get nominated twice if you're essentially the entire demo scene, but still, congratulations.
But also quite some platform variety this year. Because that counts, right? Because Desire was nominated for Acorn Archimedes and then for Amiga. So,
Being the entire demo scene means you're also present on every platform.
duh. Multi-platform.
Yeah, so
That's
congratulations, folks. And that takes us to the next category,
Which is?
Best Soundtrack.
Ooh, the music makes the demo, some people say. That's of course not true.
But it is 50% true, if you ask me. It conveys a lot of feelings, a lot of the word I'm looking for that I can't find, atmosphere.
Atmosphere, yeah.
And it also conveys a lot of talking, so let's stop that.
Yeah.
And
Then once more with feeling.
The nominees for Best Soundtrack. Sipelia by Elysium. Damage by Damage. Crystal Dynamics by No Gap, No Bacteria. Ashura by MFX. And Starseed by LJ Meteoriks.
And there we go.
Yeah.
Lovely soundtracks in there. And I have to say, I really enjoy how, maybe you've noticed, we've had a little bit of change in how the nominations in those artistic categories are made up. And we're getting a lot more mid-school and old-school productions showing up in there. And spoiler alert, you're gonna see more of them in the future of this show.
So what would you think, dojoe? Is this more because the C64 and Amiga folks also now put more emphasis on artistic quality and soundtrack, or what would you say this is
I think it's always been like that. We have seen, I think we have seen a pretty much an uptick in some more of these artistic qualities in the past years. But also, what I really enjoy is that our jurors we've had an influx of a lot more Midschool and Oldschool people in our jurors over the last years, and you can tell from our nominations. And I, for one, am very happy to have more platform diversity in the Meteoriks, and I'm happy that we're further on our way to kind of be the awards for the entire demo scene, and not just the new school demo scene, which some people rightfully accused us of.
Yes, that was classic in the past. I had so tilted towards PC demos.
Yeah, and I'd like to especially thank all of the old school jurors that have joined our ranks in the past years and increased our forces to get that bias out of the way. I think it worked. So, pretty good. Thank you, guys.
Now, what on earth in the demo scene is outstanding technical achievement?
It's our bread and butter. It's
So it's
the
everything?
shit we do all day.
It's
It's our roots.
yeah.
It's basically coder porn. That looks weird and sounds weird, and that you have to be part of the scene to sometimes understand what the heck's going on and why the heck is this nominated. But you'll see, there's some really, really interesting stuff in there.
Welcome to the category that always has a write-up, in most cases, going with it. So, outstanding technical achievement it is.
That was well said.
The nominees for Outstanding Technical Achievements. Mariana by Gen X. Ica I Kompofylla by Newline. Twin by All You Can Execute featuring Petriform. Remnants by Alcatraz. And Gosha by Samurai.
Can you hear this? All the outreach talks in the hacker and maker community helped.
People could tell. People knew what was behind Gosha.
So, Dojo, I'm not even going to pretend. Can you please explain Twin to me?
Gladly.
Okay.
I love it. Twin is a port or a remix of a mesmerizing track done by Petriform on the Virtual Boy and the Game Boy, and they took that track and reproduced it for an Atari VCS, which notoriously has 2 audio channels with very limited voice variety, and most notoriously with a very limited range of or set of pitches. It's infamous for being almost impossible to compose music for that is in tune if you even try single notes. And these guys ported a tune to that platform that has precise tuning, pitches, arpeggios, and doesn't sound like 2 tunes at all. Comment of Petriform, the original tune author, on that video: what the hell did I need 10 voices for? And that's the technical achievement.
Amazing. every year again. It's just one of our favorite corners of tinkering.
Yeah.
Tinkerbells.
Yeah. It's the stuff the muggles can understand the least about our scene.
Well, there's still tiny intros. So
That's true.
but they're also nominated, obviously, in this category. So
Absolutely.
remnants. Yep. Okay, then from here on, let's go to something. I don't want to say lighter, but let's say easy to understand as we do it with our eyes, and its beauty. Of course, that's in the eye of the beholder. But we are pretty sure our jury was pretty good at picking some of the prettiest demos of the year. Pretty, shiny.
Let's have some shiny.
The nominees for Best Visuals. Asura by MFX. Empires by Conspiracy. Starseed by LJ and Meteoriks. Fishbomb by Extend. And Remnants by Alcatraz.
Very.
And I wanted to say one is not like the others, but actually they're all pretty different. Very different sizes, very different platforms. Dojoe, do you want to perhaps talk about one of the ones that might be very difficult for you to watch at home on your laptop screen?
Oh, you mean Fishbomb? Yeah. That was a pretty big hit when it dropped, and I remember I was out with some Cena friends, and one of us actually had like his hardware's emulation thing, RetroTink. No, it wasn't RetroTink. Doesn't matter. He had his C64 with him, and he actually had a CRT with him as well. He was like, "Dude, you got to watch this on a CRT." And yes, it's a night and day difference. Like on a YouTube video, it looks like, what is this flickery weirdness?
Yep.
On a CRT, it just blends into each other and gives you graphics that you didn't think possible on a C64 before.
So yeah, time to go to your attic, get them out again, and
dig out the old TV.
Yeah, and watch them. Perhaps we have one or two here. We will find out.
And I really hope at some point, well, probably there is like some video on YouTube of someone just filming the screen professionally.
Yeah,
it's a whole new quality there.
We can throw this on a list for after the party. Okay. Oh, there we already are. Best high-end intro.
Oh yes. Where we have the 64Ks and the 8Ks,
yes,
4Ks.
Maximum, I should say, also for our newcomers here. So when we say 4K in the demo scene, this is for some reason the sentence I sometimes have to explain again. When we say 4K,
it's
we
not
don't
a display
mean
resolution.
that your TV that you now have at home and paid a lot of money for, but we mean a 4 kilobyte.
Yes.
And the same with 64 kilobytes. So we are looking here at everything that runs usually on very powerful graphics cards. That aren't being used for more nefarious reasons, but for sheer beauty, and only have a maximum size of 64 kilobytes. So let's have a look who made the nicest ones.
The nominees for Best High-End Intro. Vampires by Conspiracy. Naumachia Incianis by Brain Control. Starseed by LJ and Meteoriks. We Float Here by Architects. And XO by Nuance.
Grandiosity, glitter, and whatever nightmares Pro had.
Oh, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
But man, that is an atmospheric demo.
Yeah.
And in only 4K, you know? That is... I don't know how he does it, but I mean, he gave us the laser moves
Yeah. No.
in years prior.
It's a stag. Whatever.
Anyway.
Different
But yeah, he's apparently Pro's into Nightmare Fuel lately.
Yeah.
Very well done. Please keep them coming.
Yeah, beautiful. It's War of the Worlds in just 4 kilobytes. It's amazing.
And I'm gonna say one thing. What I notice is I am really, really happy to see more action going on in the 64K scene again. There were a few years when the 64K scene was essentially conspiracy. Mm-hmm. And we now have some new people picking up the torch. We've had Architect here, Mary.
Yeah.
John and Doc, two of our new talent
talents.
nominees.
Yeah. And on Linux. Hey.
Yeah. So there's really Cédric Guimet.
Yeah. Brain
So-
Control is back.
Yeah, I'm happy to see Brain Control back. So yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting 2025, if you ask me, 64K wise.
Folks, this is a challenge.
I am looking forward to this.
Okay. Do we want to go to the next one? The one where people always start discussions about what it means, what it does.
Oh yes.
The category
And
Best
still-
Direction.
Still, best direction, very important to me
Very important.
because I think it's an important topic. It's a topic that has been underrated for quite a while, and I'm happy to see that it's become way more important in recent years. I want to believe that partly it's because of the Meteoriks. I don't know, but and I don't care. I'm glad
You
that
just believe in it. You just believe in it.
I'm glad it's happening.
Yeah. So let's have a look who just brings everything well together. You do not watch a demo, you're not getting entertained by a demo, but you're sucked into a demo. You feel a demo. You feel along with a demo.
The lick the screen.
That's probably the...
I shouldn't have said that.
Well, let's have a look.
The nominees for Best Direction: Asura by MFX. "1337 by Fairlight. XO by Nuance. Killer Pillar by Petcore.
someone has the chance
And The Lucky One by
just
Netro.
one lucky number draw could make it happen.
The most exciting thing is that anyone can be the lucky one. We can't predict who will take home the grand prize.
Dojo, how do you notice that Netro is taking a brief break?
Well, he was nominated for Meteoriks last year.
Yes, welcome back, Netro.
We're glad to have you again.
Every time. Very interesting and somewhat depressing demo, but still, I
Like all of his demos.
Yeah,
No.
not all of
No,
them,
but
but
all of
he
them are.
has a dark part in his
There's a
soul
dark side
that
to them, but it's always
he lives out. Yeah,
and it's
but
always eyebrow raising in some
good
way.
to see you're still up to that game. And also, obviously, we haven't talked enough about Fairlight and 1337. Obviously, just yet, I find, because it's...
Be my guest.
No, it's a fantastic story. I don't want to spoil it to you. Take the time afterwards. We will show, obviously, all of the demos again. Yes, it runs more than 13 minutes and 37 seconds.
It's a C64 demo. What do you expect?
Well, but it tells a very enticing story that is very, very fun to watch. Yeah, just it's so cool seeing an end-to-end story that you could almost watch like a movie on a C64. That's very fun.
Yeah. So, like it's amazing what people do on C64s and what stories they tell. I love that. And that takes us to the last category for today.
Which one? Which one?
Best high-end demo. It says it here.
Okay, yeah. I can't read and I can't remember things anymore after 11 categories.
Tell me about that.
Let's have a look at the last, the high-end, and no more gloves off. Everything goes as long as it's real-time rendered.
Yeah.
Right.
2 gigabytes, you're in.
14 gigabytes, I believe we had this year some demos.
We had very big demos.
Yeah.
It started some discussion. But
yeah,
hey,
yeah, exactly. There were some discussions.
I'm not
This is
judging. Not here, not now, right? At least.
Oh, bitter. Yeah.
And
Let's.
there's a lot of good stuff in there.
Oh yeah.
The nominees for Best High-End Demo. Legends of the Past by Futurists. Stranded by Mad Wizards. Fast Forward by Doomsday and Turbo Knight. Asura by MFX. And Sisyphus Unchained by Andromeda Software Developments.
And there you have it.
That's
5
the selection.
fresh nominees.
Yes. So, Dojo, who do you think? Who's your favorite on this list? That's
I'm gonna say Asura.
Asura. Yeah, we finally get to talk about MFX. We are always sitting here like every year. We can't talk about
It
MFX.
is the least MFX demo I've seen.
Interloper.
Touché.
Okay, but yes, by the way, Uncle X, Pandur, please tell me what's going on in this demo, because I am listening to way too many sci-fi stories, And I just want to stop with a headcanon. Just please tell me the story. What happens there to the sun and the planets? And I have a headcanon. Perhaps I should write you very long texts about what I think is happening there. Fan fiction. Azura fan fiction.
Ooh.
Yeah. And
Wayfinder, I know you can do everything. Now I know you can do everything and then some. I never stop being amazed by your capabilities and the breadth of your talent.
However, I do disagree with dojoe.
How dare you?
Well, what are you gonna do in front of all these people? So don't answer. I would say the soundtrack of Sisyphus Unchained. That's awesome. Always a sucker for some proper rock music. But I would say Stranded, Mad Wizards. That was certainly my favorite. It's just beautiful like hell. It has fantastic effects. Even the video hardly plays on my graphics card. As every time. So thanks for the capturing help, Psykon, as every year. So yeah, that's my favorite.
Well, I'm glad we're not jurors and don't have any say in this.
Yeah, we have no vote, so we can just say this here. They don't listen to us anyway. They know better than we do.
There are, however, people who are jurors and have a say in this, and those are our jurors, who we want to thank a billion times again. All of our 35, I think, jurors this year. Thank you for being with us. Some of you for the umpteenth year. Thanks for sticking around. Thank you for wading through 2,600 prods and making all of this possible. Thank you so much. Please give them a huge applause.
Because also they're still going to have the hardest work ahead of them. Don't think it's the 2,600 productions they've watched.
You mean go on a stage and read a speech?
Oh yeah, that's and write the speech and be there on time. And we don't even get into that. But actually selecting and picking the laureates and their categories, I wouldn't want to do that job. I'm not sure about you all. It's been a blast. Thanks to everyone who's been nominated. Thanks to everyone who's not been nominated. Still amazing productions. I can think of hundreds of them. I'm sure PS will do another wonderful video of should have been nominated at the Meteoriks. We are looking forward to all your opinions on Poet and on all the other platforms to let us know how we could have done better. And we will accept this as your application for next year.
We need a healthy discussion. And we especially need all of you sitting here, sitting in front of the screen, sceners everywhere, making the wonderful productions that we just had the pleasure to watch. And will have the pleasure to watch in a few minutes.
Exactly. We have now 3 hours for everyone where we screen all the demos that you've just seen.
In full length.
In full length. All, even the C64 ones. That are somewhere, as usual, in the 2 digits of minutes. But they're
worth it.
They're great. They're worth it. Do it.
Definitely worth it.
So yeah, take a seat, grab a drink at our friendly info desk. Enjoy the evening. And again, congratulations to all the nominees.
Yeah. And thanks, Shana and Mountainbytes, for having us again.
Always a pleasure. Next year again.
Absolutely.
Cool. Good night, everyone.
See you.